Good morning, it's Jeremy from Rotronic. I'm just going to do a quick video to introduce our Rotronic Monitoring System, and in particular I wanted to introduce and demonstrate how simple it is to register an account and initially set up a system and add your first few devices. So I'm on the main Rotronic website and I'm going to jump through to the RMS satellite page, where we have lots of information, and up at the top right we have our login and register buttons to the cloud platform. Of course we do on-premise, but this is the cloud. So you will have your license key. This may well be done for you by your Rotronic system subsidiary or distributor, but if you're doing it yourself, then we enter the chosen company name, which you once set up is fixed. We enter our initial username, not case sensitive. Email address is very important because that's how you recover your password if you were to lose it, and you enter your password. You'll set your password here. There's no password requirements at this stage, that can be added at a later date. You would click register and you jump straight through to the main page. I've already done that, so I'm going to jump through to my blank RMS account, RMS demo system here with my admin user. Nothing added, all as defaults. So let's make some initial setups. Tools and setup, we're going to go down to the account, just confirm the details are as required. In the system, I want to add my company logo perhaps. Let's use the Rotronic logo there. I might want to change the title text, so demo live monitoring system, and obviously the language. This will affect reports and parts of the website, and the time zone, of course, very important. So these are system settings. In addition, down here I can change the password requirements. I can also enable some parts that are very important for the pharmaceutical industry, reasons for changes, passwords for changes, disable any deletion of data, etc. But that's enough for now. Let's just check that's taken hold. So we've got my logo now, got my title as I want it to be. Now, the way we organize the structure, all the devices and data, is all through the group structure here on the left hand side. So let's make some changes there. So you might do this by building, by room, by application, depends on the size of your system. So let's rename this to Home Office, and in a second video we will do add some outside weather data information, so I might add that as a second group at this stage, so I'm ready. Okay, Home Office and weather data, two groups, nice and simple. Right, let's add some devices. So I have with me a data logger, temperature and humidity, with a high-end temperature and humidity digital probe here, and this is a LAN device, has battery, but it communicates over Ethernet. So I'm going to plug that into my home router here, which has PoE, so that will power the device up and connect it to my network. Now, if I needed to make any changes to the network settings, then I can use a small desktop app to configure that. This is called RMS config. And within RMS config, we can search for network devices. I don't need to hold that anymore. And we find that our LAN logger here is accessible on the network. If need be, I can change from DHCP. Some companies will prefer fixed IP addresses, very easy to change. Importantly, this software will find devices on the network even if the IP settings are wrong. Slightly technical point. If need be, we can add the device here. We can change some other settings, but not required for the cloud. Key point, it's on the network and it's communicating. And that device will be transmitting information to the cloud here to say I exist. So I want to add it to my account. So I enter the serial number, and that will tell RMS that I'm ready to add this device, and we should get a orange flashy light, if you can just about see that. And I'm going to press the button here, and that tells the RMS software that I own this device. And I'm ready to pair it. So there we are. We're in the pairing mode now. I can set the logging interval, which group to add. I might change the measuring point name. So I might call this Home Office Humidity. and home office temperature. Can always be changed in the future. New device added. There are some additional settings I can change. I can give it a position information. I can change the timeout time. So in this, as it is, in 4 minutes, if it's offline, then there will be an error reported in the system that the device is offline. I can see my 2 measuring points that have been created, and if I go to the chart then, within the home office group, I can see my 2 parameters. Device is logging every minute, so we should see some live data pop through any moment now. And then we will add our alarms. So at the moment we have no warnings and alarms. I've got my heater going, actually. Let's turn that down so we have a bit of peace and quiet. So we will set up some alarms on this system so we can get warnings and notifications about out of limit conditions. Let's do that now while the device is waiting to communicate. In fact, I've just seen it blink, so there we are. There's our data coming through. So yes, getting a little hot in here. Right, let's set up some alarms. So I'm just going to set a temperature in the office alarm scheme. I prefer to do alarm schemes within RMS. There are other ways of doing it, but this allows me to set a template that I can apply to multiple devices. So this might be multiple office sensors or fridge sensors, whatever it might be. Okay, I'm going to choose an active time. I only really care about alarms while I'm using this space. I'll leave this at 8 to 5, and I want warnings from, say, 18 to 23 with no delay, and I'm going to have an alarm message at 15 to, say, 25, and I might put a 15-minute delay on that one. Now, it would be useful for me actually to get warnings outside these hours if the temperature goes very low. I'm in a home office here, I'm away from my house, so it could get very cold. So I'm just going to set up an alarm limit, say at 5 degrees. Just lets me know overnight if it's very, very cold. Maybe I want to come down early and switch the heating on. So we're going to hit save there. That's the alarm scheme configured, and I just need to allocate it to my temperature sensor here, my temperature measurement. So I'm going to choose alarm mode, alarm scheme, temperature office. Hit save. That's all configured. Go back to my chart now. I can see with the heater, it's an air blown heater, so the heater is off, so we're rapidly cooling back down. And as that alarm band has become active, we will start to see the alarm band on the chart here as the time moves on. Now, what else can we do? Initially in this setup, we probably want to add some additional users. So I'm a full admin, and that means I can make all changes to the system, but I might want a colleague to have guest access perhaps. So we can see my single user here. I want to add a second user. First of all, I'm going to configure the user rights. So this is my admin user rights. They have view, edit, add, delete access to the whole system. So I'm going to make a new user right called view only. And it's going to start blank, and I'm just going to allow this user right to have basic view access to some of the basic parts of the software, documents, maybe the not set up. So very basic access is all we need. So I'm going to hit save. That's a template now, and again I can create a new user. So let's say guest demo. You would normally create users with their full name, of course. It's correct in the pharmaceutical industry, but in some applications we might want a guest access. Since you can't make any changes, that might be acceptable to you. Just going to give them access to the home office group with that view only user right. There we go. As they're in the home office group, they must only be visible in the home office group, and we hit save. So that's my new user created with the username guest, and first time a new user is created, they have a blank password. So I log in, enter my chosen password, and away we go. And we can see now the temperature is stabilizing, and I can see my alarm band here that is now active, and I can see my temperature is in alarm mode. And I can see the warning up here. The warning is active, and I can see that chart and the information about what is the warning, what is the source of the warning, the alarm scheme we set up, and which instrument is giving the alarm the home office temperature. Still active, it's in bold, it started at 9:53 here, and it will, I'm sure, end any moment now, as it is cooling down fast. In fact, there we go. So the temperature's gone back into the green zone, and the alarm has ended, the warning has ended, sorry, but it's still listed. It will be a finished event here, as we can see. So that's probably enough for now. Yes, my guest user cannot go into tools and setup, so I can't do any further configuration, which is what I want. But I can see that live data. But we'll touch on to some other parts of the software at a later stage. That's enough for now, just showing you how easy it is to add devices. Next time we'll add some wireless devices. Perhaps we'll use the layout, add some layout imaging here, and go a little deeper. Okay, thanks very much, and catch up soon.